So this video is going along with my blog post on raising pet jellyfish that explains how to build your own jellyfish breeding system. And I'm basically going to explain all of the components of the system so you have a better idea of what's going on here. So this is the polyp tank, the first tank in the line. This is the flexible tubing that comes up from the sump. So we'll take a peek in here and see what I've got going on. I have two petri dishes here. You can see that's where the water's coming in, and you can kind of get a rough idea of the flow. These two petri dishes have polyps on them, as you can see, and then I've got this mesh here. Just kind of threw it in here in case the polyps want to grow on that as well. So there's the tank. Bulkhead leads to the Ephira tank, so we'll go explore that. Also, I mentioned in my post that I just cut a hole here and slipped this tube in, so you can kind of see how I did that. Again, you can clamp that in any way you want to, but I prefer to cut a hole so I could have the lid actually sit on here. This lid kind of floats on here. It's not totally attached because the tank is warped a little bit, but this is the Ephira tank. As you can see, I have some mixed Ephira going around in here, mid-jellyfish. But bulkhead's right here, and I just literally put some PVC tubing in there. One corner piece facing this way, and the screen is over here, so that the flow goes around like that instead of directly toward the screen. If it goes directly toward the screen, they can get stuck to it. I actually did that first, and I had a problem with jellyfish getting stuck to the screen, but this fixed it. It was also making a gurgling noise, so I cut a small hole right there, drilled a small hole. You may not have that problem, I did, but it just fixed that up real quick. So the screen here, mine's a little tall, so it bends over a little on the top here, but that's okay, as long as it doesn't bend too much. But as you can see, that kind of curved structure I was talking about, the parabolic screen shape. And as you can see, it's glued down at the bottom. I actually glued mine down kind of differently than I described in the post, but I found this has had a few problems, so the one in the actual post is more detailed and more revised. So second bulkhead drains and overflows water from the Ephira tank all the way down to the sump. So I have a little piece of straight PVC pipe there, and then that 90-degree corner is hooked on that. You can't see it, but it's there. Siliconed up that and that just in case. Go down, and as you can see, we have another 90-degree right here, some straight tubing, and another 90-degree. So this is only a 2-shelf one, but this one's pretty big. I don't recommend actually getting a shelf this large because I found that the flow is so low that only the bio balls and biomedia in the center there gets wetted by the salt water. So I would go with a smaller shelf and just more shells. That'll increase the efficiency of the filter. But take a look in here. Here's this mat that I was talking about. The filter. It just catches large particles. And then as you can see, if I can get this open here, I have a bunch of those plastic pot scrubbers in there for filtration, biological filtration. You can hear it over here. There's an extremely loud power head. I got one that was supposed to support the height that I have because the sump's kind of low down, but it still makes this little really loud grinding noise. So I think if I was to rebuild this system, I would get an even more powerful power head, so it doesn't make that grinding noise. But you can kind of see what kind of sump I have. It's literally just a plastic bin that just holds a few inches of water. For a valve, I took some CPVC pipe and a CPVC valve, 1/2 inch. The particular power head I had used this kind of, or this size of flexible tubing, so it fit right over the 1/2 inch CPVC tubing. If you get a larger power head, you may have to get larger flexible tubing, and you would want to use a different valve, but really any sort of valve will work. And you can find other ways of attaching it on there. and I just have that on there loosely, but I dipped each flexible tubing piece in hot water so it would fit around there, and now it's pretty Loctite, so it's not coming off. As you can see, that leads back up to the polyp tank. So that is the total system. It's very adjustable. You can kind of make it any way you please. There's a lot you can customize, but this is how I built it. Really, these two tanks are the big hard part of it. Especially the fire tank, you just want to make sure the screen is really glued in well. You may have to play with it a little bit. I had to take the screen off and re-glue it once, but that's about it. So yeah,